Hi everyone, welcome to Northwest Maple Bonsai. I'm Derek and I'm glad you're here today. I want to show you a few things about wiring Japanese maple seedlings. It's just the way that I do it and I think you'll find it interesting. I think you know this already, but Japanese maples are really susceptible to the bark being marked by wiring. If you wrap the wire tightly around the stem of the seedling, as it grows, the wire will bite into the bark and leave a spiral mark. So in order to prevent that, we wrap the wire very loosely, making a cage around the stem so that as the seedling grows, it doesn't cut into the bark as easily if you get careless or lazy or forget to remove the wiring. Now, most of these marks for seedlings, like the size I'm going to show you, probably won't show up after a while as once the trees mature. But I think it's always better to be safe than sorry. So the way I do it is to wire very loosely. And we'll take a look at it. It's easier to show you than to talk about it. So let's go outside and I'll show you how I wire up these little seedlings. So here are 4 seedlings that I'm going to wire. All of them are 1 year old. Started from seed last spring. The stems are about the diameter of a bamboo barbecue skewer, as you can see. These seedlings are pretty flexy and easy to bend, so if you wanted to be very aggressive with your curves, you could do that if that's your style. I'm going to be using 1.5 millimeter aluminum bonsai wire for this project, and if you stick around, I'll give you a few more tips on some other wiring options. So we're going to use a bamboo chopstick of the type that you get at takeout restaurants. We're going to hold the wire about the length of the soil from the bottom of the pot to the top of the soil, and we're going to wind the wire around the chopstick, not too tight, just enough to get a coil. And when we're done winding, so we'll just slide it off, and you can see the coil we have. I'm going to take the end of the wire, stick it down into the soil. You're going to stick it on the side that's opposite the direction of your first bend. So you're going to bend away from the wire. We're going to now coil the wire around the stem. Now you're going to want to be very careful as you do this. You can damage the stem with the wire if you're not careful and gentle. So take your time. Don't press the wire up against the stem as much as possible. And there you go. So now you're going to take your coil of wire and you're going to bend it to put a curve into the stem. You're going to want to make sure you bend the coils and don't put pressure on the stem itself. You're also going to want to take care that you don't collapse the coils by squeezing them too tightly. So really you want to support the coils as you bend them, and you can put the curve that you like in there. It's really pretty easy to do once you get a hang of it. So there you go. You can touch it up a little bit. I have noticed that the more you fiddle with it, the worse it gets. So you want to try and get that done the first time through as much as possible. So there you go. I've gone through and I'm finished with all 4 the seedlings that I was working on. Now you can buy wire specifically for bonsai that you can get from online sources or specialty stores, and that works great. Usually it's aluminum wire in metric sizes. I'm going to show you a couple of tricks for hobbyists using wire that you can find laying around your house or easily available at hardware stores. So you can buy copper wire of different gauges, and they're jacketed, usually in some type of nylon or PVC coating. And this works fine for wiring Japanese maples. In fact, the fact that they're plastic coated gives you a little bit of added protection against marking of the plants. American wire comes in gauge sizes commonly, and the interesting thing is that as the wire number increases, the diameter actually decreases. So a higher number means a smaller wire. This particular one is 18 gauge wire. You can see it's very flexible. So this is perfect for the seedlings that we're going to do. It comes in different sizes. In comparison, this is a 12 gauge wire. It's pretty stiff. So you can see that. So I would say for Japanese maples, the seedlings, 18 gauge is perfect. Then the next stiffer size would be 16 gauge, 14 gauge, and then 12 gauge looks like that. You can get it a single conductor wire on a spool like this. Or if you happen to have wiring projects around your house, typically a lot of people for indoor wiring, they have Romix brand wire. This is a 14 gauge wire, and it looks like this. So in this particular one, there are 3 conductors. There's 2 conductors that are jacketed and 1 ground wire that's not jacketed. But if you happen to have that lying around your house, I think that's perfectly fine to use. The one thing to remember when you're using, and this is copper wire, the one thing to remember is that you should get solid wire. So stranded wire would be very flexible and won't hold the shape that you bend it to. So you want to get solid core wire. Okay, so either way, you can use the aluminum wire that a lot of bonsai people use, or you can use this jacketed, probably less expensive wire that you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's. So I want to show you that this actually does work. Here's a seedling that is, let's say, 2.5 years old. You can see it's holding its shape. And here are some seedlings that are now about 3 years old. And you'll notice that you don't see any wire marking, so the technique is working. Here's another sample that's about 3 years old. So that's what you can expect. I hope that's been helpful for you. Well, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them for me, and we'll see you next time.